Hi everybody, my name is Chad Barker. I'm going to show you today a little bit more about our Base 90 Lazy Susan cabinet. As you can see right here, I just kind of drew it in for you a little bit. It's a pretty simple cabinet, but there's actually some complexities, I guess, down with the toe kick. We'll get into that as far as how to assemble and just kind of a general aspect of this cabinet and how it all operates with your kitchen. Alright, so anyway, real quick, just kind of getting off on it, we have two doors. They're bifold in the middle, so when they open up, this one will actually swing out, or whichever way you're going to hinge it. Let's take a look at this in a line view. One second, sorry. Alright, so you can see we have hinge holes being drilled on each side, so technically if you ordered this cabinet, you're going to be able to use a left side hinge or a right side hinge. And you can always change that on site just by rotating these doors 180 degrees. You got a left or a right side. Now we still offer the customer the option to choose a left or right, but just keep in mind that we will drill both holes just in case you get into there. Now, as far as toe kicks are concerned, as far as assembly, this is kind of how it's done right here. Let's take a look at this in our texture. Alright, so basically the assembly of the toe kick is basically you got one piece going all the way across on the bottom. This is underneath side of the cabinet. And then you have the other toe kick piece going through here. Now, for structural reasons, this is the best way of doing it. It's all done with conformats. You're going to see conformat screws here, as well as here, and as well as here, and here. Pretty simple, real easy assembly. Alright, and let's go through here and see if I can go back to the line drawing. 1 second. Alright. Bifold doors, talked about that. Now this one right here is the Lazy Susan cabinet. Now there is an option to do a fixed shelf on the interior here. And in the fixed shelf you're going to see adjustable shelf holes, and we'll get to that in a minute. But for the Lazy Susan, all of our Lazy Susan holes are going to be drilled on the inside. So if you see these Lazy Susan holes, they are on the inside of the cabinet. They are not drilled up here. They're actually drilled up underneath here. So if you're wondering which way is up and which way is down, on the top of this cabinet or even on the bottom, the Lazy Susan holes always face inside the cabinet. Those are like pilot holes. We only drill those things about a 1/16 of an inch down. It just allows you to put the screws in for the Lazy Susan package to where you need them. So they're pretty simple. And they're all going to line up. Let's take a bird's eye view of this. Alright, so there we go. We already have our Lazy Susan drawn in. Our hinges are all going to protrude out here, so we maximize the amount. This little box you see right here is just a sample idea to make sure that we don't have the Lazy Susan hitting the hinges, the edges of the hinges. So keep that in mind. So anyway, your hinges are all drilled here. Everything's on center. We take care of all of that for you. Let's take a look. Other thing we want to look at is the back side of the cabinet. Now this is a bit newer. We have a bevel on the back side here. So as far as assembly is concerned, let's take a look. You're going to have a right unfinished in. Yeah, unfinished in right, or a UE-R. Over here you're going to have a unfinished in left, which is a UE-L. You'll see that on your assembly sheet, as well as a tag on the back side of this. Over here you're going to see same thing, a UE-L, which is basically the same name as this. It's just the wider one, and that's the one that goes on the back. Now keep in mind here, we have a bevel on the back side here. Now a lot of people's corners of everybody's kitchens and whatnot usually have a slight round here, so we don't make this square. We want to bevel that off for you. So that's why you see that bevel, and it's a good way of kind of signifying exactly where that unfinished end is on this cabinet. Okay, now notice how the unfinished ends on the back side of the cabinet are going to run all the way through. Okay, so notice that right there. For assembly reasons, yeah, this can be a little bit more of a confusing cabinet to assemble, so watch our assembly video. That'll help you out a little bit there too. Same thing over here. It's very simple the way it's put together. And basically, just kind of looking at the aspect of this cabinet, you basically just need to start off with using this piece right here with the bevel on it. Get your deck, attach your deck, and then your top. Put your unfinished end on, and kind of work your way around the cabinet when you're assembling it, and you'll be a lot better off. Other than that, no other real big news on that thing. Let's throw a fixed shelf in there just for fun. You can kind of see how it looks. That's not right. Sorry about that. That is a fixed shelf, not an adjustable shelf. So, as far as there we go. All right, so that's more accurate. Okay, so you got conformat screws holding that fixed shelf in there, and it's always going to split. So basically the same distance from the top to here as here to here. And we do a 6-inch recess, as you can kind of see here. That way you can put pots and pans and stuff in there. Now the fixed shelf is probably going to be your best bet for storage if you're looking at ordering this or the Lazy Susan. I like the Lazy Susans. They're beautiful. They work very well. Problem is, Lazy Susans, if you've ever had one in the past, you don't really maximize all the space in your cabinet. There's really no such thing as a good way of using a corner cabinet. But with a fixed shelf, you open these doors, you put pots and pans or your mixer or whatever heck you have going on in there, and it's a lot better off. So anyway, that's something to look at there. Make sure you put your fixed shelf inside the cabinet before you put your top on or before you put your deck on. The idea there is that it might be pretty tough to get this fixed shelf inside of this cabinet once it's all installed. Also, you need to conformat screw these things in, so make sure you just kind of prep that up a little bit and watch our assembly video on this thing. It'll be a lot better off. All right, I don't think I have anything else for you. If you have any further questions, feel free to email me. I'll update this video as needed. All right, thanks again. Have a great day.